Welcome back to the Fire Your MD Now radio show. Mike Phillip filling in for the ever awesome Dr. Peter Glidden. It is Thursday, January 16th, and there's all kinds of things I want to talk to you about today. Coming at you live from the Republic of Soviet Kazakhstan. We call it Canada. I tell you what, we are over-regulated, overtaxed, and it's just not pretty. I know we've got this vaunted free healthcare system. Oh, free, something for nothing. Just walk in the hospital, they'll fix you up, send you on your way, no problems. Well, guess what? Nothing is free. The cost of living is high. The cost of doing business is high. Now, let me ask you this. Why are we spending so much money to prop up an outdated, frankly, mediocre medical system that the treatments just don't work? Well, here's the good news. People are waking up. People are seeing it for what it is. And, you know, it's the kind of thing where you have a brain and a God-given ability to reason things out and look at the situation for what it is. And I'm going to give you 4 little powerful words. 3 of them only got 1 syllable. The 4th has 2. Small words, but powerful words. I do not consent. You ready? Turn up your radio. Say it with me. I do not consent. It's that simple. I don't consent. I don't bow my knee to any king or queen. I don't worship any president. If you ask me again, I won't worship at the altar of medical mediocrity. And if you ask me again, my friend, I will say I do not consent. Now, D-Rock, if you're out there, D-Rock, Dragon Slayer, guitar player, I want you to download the podcast, take those words, put a great guitar lick to it, send me the music, and I'll put a drum track to it. In fact, what would be really great is if we could write some new music for the bumper on this show, because frankly, I'm tired of Roundabout by Yes. No offense to Dr. Glidden, his taste in music is a great song, but when you listen to the show every day, it gets a little bit old. Call in line if you want to talk about anything at all. 1-866-582-9933. That's 1-866-582-9933. Now, we've had calls from Germany, all over the place, Algeria, the UK. There's a lot of people listening to this message of health recovery through nutrition. Now, I'm one of those people. A few years back, I was working on big trucks, and I would listen to the Alex Jones show quite a bit. And I went searching around GCN. If you go to GCNlive.com, you can see a whole list of the great programming that's available for freedom-minded people and advertising that's geared towards self-sufficiency and self-reliance, rugged individualism. That's what I'm into. You can find this show, and that's what I did. I stumbled on it. Now, I was somebody who would wake up every day with white-hot burning lungs, hard to breathe, and I had to pop 20 Claritins a day in the spring and in the fall because my allergies were just going nuts. I was watching people around me who should have been young and healthy and beautiful breaking down at a crazy rate. Well, guess what? I found this show. And I started listening, and I started slowly doing the things that Dr. Glidden was talking about in order to recover your health. Now, it's no mystery. It's all been proven. And the fact is, we don't cure you. We don't cure anybody. We cure ourselves. We give our bodies what it needs to support and promote the healthy structure and function of its vital systems. Now, Dr. Glidden was talking about matters of spirituality yesterday, and it's funny because I was telling a girl one time, you don't have to have breast cancer. 200 micrograms of selenium a day has been proven to reduce breast cancer significantly, and she said, well, you're getting preachy. Seriously? I just told you, you and your daughter don't have to, well, whatever. Anyways, call in line, 866-582-9933. Now, if you know somebody that doesn't have internet access and they want to listen to the show, GCN's got you covered. There's a listen line. They can call on their phone and listen to the show. That number is 605-562-7729. Now, have you ever heard the expression beating a dead horse? It seems like every day I research different articles. I look into what people are saying all over the web. And I look for things to talk about on this show. And this is a really good example because every damn day it seems like there's a new study coming out that says vitamins don't help you. Go back to the doctor and you'll be fine. Go back to the doctor. Get a breast cancer test. Don't pay attention to the fact that, a high percentage of the time it gives a false positive. And then if we diagnose you with it, the best answer we got is to cut off your breast. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm the kind of guy that's against anything that would want to make war with women's breasts, all right? Just leave it at that. So we got this study, and this is from globalnews.com. Vitamins don't protect men's aging brains or help heart disease, a study suggests. And it's funny how they word this. You got to listen to this. There's more disappointing news about multivitamins. Oh, they're so disappointed. We wanted to tell you they work, but we just couldn't find it. 2 major studies found popping the pills don't protect aging men's brains or help heart attack survivors. Okay, right off the bat. What vitamin pills are they taking? What's the bioavailability of those pills? How much are they taking? What do they eat? What are their social habits? What are their sleep patterns? It's just ridiculous. Anyways, I'll go on. Millions of Americans spend billions of dollars on vitamin combinations, presumably to boost their health and fill gaps in their diets. But, people who don't eat enough of certain nutrients may be urged to get them in pill form. The government doesn't recommend routine vitamin supplementation as a way to prevent chronic diseases. Oh, really? You know what? I tried it your way. You lied to me. You told me you could help. But it just got worse and worse. I had such bad stomach acid problems that I was popping Zantac 10 times a day. I had to have them in my truck when I was on a job site. Otherwise, I was in so much pain I could hardly move. But in my lunch, I had a sandwich all the time with whole wheat bread. Well, guess what? Dr. Glidden said, cut out the gluten. I did. Dr. Glidden said, based on the research of Dr. Joel Wallach, that if I upped my calcium and took more salt with my food, that my stomach acids would balance out. Guess what? It did. I haven't had a Zantac in a long time. I've seen people recover from things that would blow your mind. I've seen people get over type 2 diabetes through medicinal, nutritional means, naturopathic means, the way God intended. And I would just like to give thanks to God right now for this opportunity to talk to everybody that's listening to this show. Now, if you're a Dr. Glidden insider, you know all kinds of things that your doctor doesn't. Like the fact that it's easy to clear up just about anything. I mean, here's the deal. We had a lady that showed up at a Dr. Glidden show, the first one we had in Edmonton. She was from Hungary, her and her husband. And they were really outdoorsy kind of people, always hiking and climbing mountains. Well, this lady got diagnosed with lupus. Okay, lupus. How hard is that to beat? Okay? She had been basically told by her doctor, by her MD, the guy that knows, the guy with the white coat, the clipboard, and the stethoscope, and all the paper on the wall, that basically we can't help you. I'm sorry. We got billions of dollars of federal funding. We take tax dollars in to skew research and do phony studies. We can't help you. You're going to die. But we got paid well to reach that diagnosis. Anyhow, she showed up at a Dr. Glidden show, and here's the thing about Dr. Glidden. If you're going to do anything with longevity, get him to come to your town. Put a little bit of work into it. Okay, have things ready. Have a nice hall ready for him. If you can't, have at least 50 to 100 people in attendance. It can be a game changer. Now, this lady shows up with her husband, and Dr. Glidden speaks for about 2.5 hours, and then after the show, he sits down with each of the people, and there was probably about 20 of them that stuck around after the show, or the presentation, I should say. And he sat with each one of them and discussed our view on how to regain control of their health just by changing their lunch. That's it. So guess what? This lady shows up a year later. We have Dr. Glidden back in town, and she is completely recovered from lupus. It's gone. It's gone. Now, here's the other thing about bringing Glidden to town or Dr. Glidden, I should say, for a show or a presentation. You meet some great people, and if you're looking to build a small business with longevity, here's the deal. The last time we brought Dr. Glidden to town, I told my friend Zibby. Zibby's a cool guy, kind of a biker with a cowboy hat deal. And I told him we were bringing this guy to town, and I didn't talk to him again for quite a while. And then it turned out his girlfriend showed up at the show. Her name is Cindy Asmundson, and I can't say enough about this lady. She showed up at the show, got a hold of me after, got signed on with longevity, got her family on it, and now every morning when I get up and I look at my back office, so that's the thing, you go with longevity, you got this little back office that shows you the different, the sales and posts your commissions and whatnot. Cindy Asmundson signed up about 6 people. Just like that. In the first month she was enrolled. And that's how it happens. That's what you want. You want these business building types. But you know what? Even if it's just somebody that doesn't want to go too far with it and just wants to recover their health, you know what? That's great. I want to talk to you too. I've got lots of people like that in my downline. Not only that, but, it feels really good to have somebody stop you on the street and say, I don't think my mom would be alive today if it wasn't for you. Now, things have gotten absolutely stupid. Okay? Think about this. They'll take billions of dollars. Okay? Billions of dollars to convince you that what they're doing works. Or dispelling what they thought even just 6 months ago. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll discuss this on the other side, back after this. We're back live. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden on the Fire Your MD Now radio show. Now, before we went into the break, I was discussing how much money people are willing to spend in order to convince you that things are working just fine within our medical system. Well, they're not. Okay, and the more money they spend, the less convinced I am personally. And I'm going to give you a little example of it. This is another story from globalnews.com. Study dispels obesity paradox idea for diabetics. The obesity paradox. This should be good. Let's read on. The obesity paradox, the controversial notion that being overweight might actually be healthier for somebody with diabetes. Oh, if you got diabetes, you should be overweight. Well, they've just discovered that seems to be a myth. Really? It's not healthy to be overweight if you have diabetes? Researchers report a major study, this is big, people, a major study finds there's no survival advantage to being large and a disadvantage to being very large. More than 24 million Americans have diabetes, mostly type 2, the kind that is on the rise because of obesity. About 2/3 of U.S. adults are overweight, including 1/3 who are obese. That's funny, because I've never heard of anybody getting diabetes because they were overweight. The way I understand it, it's a deficiency in chromium and vanadium. And do I have anything to back that up? Yeah, I got somebody I can phone right now who will attest to the fact that they don't have to take their diabetes drugs anymore because they are supplementing with chromium and vanadium. So weighing too much increases the chances of heart disease, cancer, and premature death. But some small studies, these are just little ones, about $5 a piece, have suggested this might not be true for everyone, and that type 2 diabetics might even benefit from a few extra pounds. A metabolic reverse to help them get through the sickness. The new research, this is just in, which looked at deaths according to how much people weighed when they were diagnosed with diabetes, dispels that idea. Well, back to the drawing boards, boys. We didn't see this protective effect at all, said one study leader, Deidre Tobias of the Harvard School of Public Health. Wow, that's what Harvard's working on, seeing if it's more healthy to be overweight if you have diabetes. the results are in this week's New England Journal of Medicine. Hey, that's Dr. Glidden's old stomping grounds. It's a very convincing study and large enough to give a clear answer, said one independent expert, Dr. Patrick Remington, Associate Dean for Public Health at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. That he's an expert, and he can't see a link when, in fact, I just listened to Dr. Wallach and Dr. Glidden and bada bing, bada boom, found it out, put it into practice. Guess what? I don't have diabetes, and I'm never going to get it either. That's just my belief. That's another cool thing about me doing this show. I'm not a doctor and don't claim to be. I can say whatever I want. They're not going to yank my license to do anything. Anyhow, yeah, so Harvard University is working on deciding in the ever-eternal struggle whether or not obesity is good for you if you have diabetes. Isn't that amazing? Now, if you have diabetes, if you have macular degeneration, if you're overweight, if you feel like crap all the time, call me up and let's talk about it. 866-582-9933. Now, here's the other deal. If you don't feel like phoning a radio show, we got you covered. If you're a little shy and you don't feel like public speaking or anything like that, teamglidden.ca has got you covered. Now, here's the number, 1-800-705-6892. 1-800-705-6892. You'll find somebody on the other end of the line that wants to sit and talk you through it. And we've heard just about all of it. Now, if we hear something that we don't know the answer to, we got you covered there, too, because we've got a direct line to Dr. Glidden, and I've never heard the man stumped. If I've ever heard him even question anything, he says call Wallach. Now, we've got you covered there, too, because in the province of Alberta, March 27th, 28th, and 29th, that's Edmonton, Sherwood Park, and Camrose, we have got Dr. Joel Wallach coming to give a presentation on how he founded the Longevity Company and all the many successes he's had over the years and the different struggles of being sued by medical associations and, people basically coming after him because he's cutting into profits. I mean, you don't just show that cystic fibrosis is easy to get rid of and not pay for it, right? It's crazy. There's a lot of information we want to cover. Back after this. Welcome back to the Fire Your MD Now radio show. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. Now, what's this? We got a call here from Jane in my stomping grounds, Alberta. Jane, can you hear me?
Doing eggs and butter every morning, and I'm supposed to be taking eggs at night. I can't get too much down, but so I don't, and I did you mentioned that water hydrotherapy for the large colon, and I did that last week, and of course you said it takes 2 or 3 times. I don't want to do that again, but anyway, I'm worried that a lot of the nutrients aren't getting absorbed, and maybe it'll just take longer.
Well, the only time, it's a point well taken, right? The only time that medical nutrition...
Yeah, I was talking before the break about this study with diabetes, okay, and this wrangling going on amongst researchers over whether or not it's healthy to be obese or not if you have diabetes. And that's just stupid on its face. It really is. I mean, I'm not an expert, but like I said, I've seen people recover from diabetes. I've seen it. I tell you what, they're some of the happiest people you've ever seen because they were formally told that they had something going on that could not be gotten rid of, could not be fixed. And lo and behold, the answer was in their hands the whole time. My people perish for lack of knowledge. You need the knowledge to deal with these things. And you know what? It's really easy just by changing your eating habits and whatnot. We're going to take a call from Jane in Alberta. Jane, how are you?
I'm good. My husband has symptoms of Parkinson's, and we had started on the Dr. Wallach's product or Longevity about a month and a half to 2 months ago, and we've been trying to follow it diligently and trying to get the ORAC score up there every day. And now I haven't seen any improvement, and in fact, I kind of wonder if he's not deteriorating a bit because it seems like his movements are more slowed down. He's having more difficulty getting in and out of the vehicle, or even turning over in bed or getting in and out of bed. And mentally, I feel like he's kind of, it's harder for him to remember, and short-term memory seems to be getting more poor. I'm just concerned because I'm thinking, okay, is there something we're not doing right with the product, or?
Well, let me ask you this. What is his eating habits like? Have you listened to the webinars or anything like that on the 10 bad food list? Are you guys following that?
Yes, we are.
Good. That's good to hear.
And we have listened to several programs on Parkinson's.
Okay, and you say it's been 2 months?
It's almost 2 months now, I think. Actually, I think we started earlier than that, but as far as diligently following it, it's been about a month and a half, 2 months.
Okay, you know what? Keep going. Give it at least 3 months. Give it at least 90 days, okay?
Okay.
Because how old is your husband?
63.
Yeah, see, if you're looking at years and years of damage to the small intestine from gluten consumption, and, you know, these things don't always happen overnight. Like, just to give you an example, when myself personally, when I started following the protocols, it took a while for things to happen. First of all, it took a while for us to get our life on track surrounding the 10 bad food list because we just weren't used to it. But as time went on, things did get better, and now it's been, you know, just a little over 2 years. And things are getting better and better all the time, and not just in my energy levels and whatnot, but just with my relationships around me, my general attitude towards life. I want to really encourage you to stay on the path. You obviously love your husband and want him to recover, and I think that that's totally possible. Let me ask you this. What part of Alberta are you in, Jane?
Is it in Coaldale, and it's southern Alberta. It's east of Calgary.
Okay, yeah, that's a nice area. I'm up in Camrose, just outside of Edmonton, about 45 minutes.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, isn't that something? Were you around to see Dr. Glidden?
No, I had something else going that night, so I couldn't. But I'm sort of hoping that maybe when he comes around again, hopefully we can get there.
Yeah, well, you know what? Here's the deal. We've got Dr. Wallach, the founder of Longevity. We're talking about the guy that did 1 million blood works and 25,000 autopsies and figured all this out. He's coming to central Alberta. He's going to be in Edmonton on the 27th. He's going to be in Sherwood Park on the 28th and Camrose in the 29th. Now, we're going to be posting the exact locations as we're kind of doing some wrangling right now, trying to get the best deal on a nice place to have Dr. Wallach come and speak. But if you will keep in touch with teamglidden.ca, we will be posting dates and locations there. And like I said, that's March 27th, 28th, and 29th. So if you and your husband can make it up to see Dr. Wallach speak, I would love to meet you in person.
Yes, we will definitely plan on that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you know what? Dr. Wallach's forgotten more than most people will ever know about these things, right? So.
Wow. Okay, so March 27th to the 29th in
a month and a half, 2 months. Yeah, Edmonton, Sherwood Park, and Camrose. We'll be posting the exact locations when we nail them down. Like I say, we're kind of in talks with a few different places here trying to get the best deal. But so what, you know, like the way I've seen it myself. Like I said, if you were listening earlier when we started the show, there was that lady that had lupus.
I thought I was on the program on the internet here, but apparently that was the wrong one.
Oh, okay. Well, if you had been listening earlier, I was talking about a lady that had lupus, and she was able to shake that it took her 6 months.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, it took her 6 months. Like, you know, you're gonna benefit from these things, or specifically your husband. And it's just going to take a little bit of time. And, like the body wants to fix itself. It's that simple. I've seen it all around me with people that have followed these protocols. And I have no reason to believe that it'll be any different, with you or your husband. Tell me this, you're taking the product as well?
Yeah, I'm starting now. Before I didn't know if I had enough products because I wanted him to definitely stay on it. But now I do have it, so I'm starting today.
Oh, you're starting today?
Yeah, because we just got the product here, so I know I have enough for another month until I had the next order come through. So, but I was running short all the time, and so I thought, no, I'll just wait with starting it until I know that he's got enough.
You know what? He's a really lucky guy to have you there watching over him and looking out for him, and that's the beautiful thing about family. It's obvious to me that you love him and you want him to get better.
Yes,
what
really
did he do? What did he do all his life? What was he?
He was
a
medical lab tech. And,
a medical lab tech.
Yeah, we're believing God too for healing for him, and I think this is probably the route that he'll receive the healing with.
You know what? I do too. And it was, faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these are love. Well, you know what? It was the same thing for me as you. My wife was in pain all the time. I'd listen to her cry herself to sleep. And as a man, I couldn't stand it. I just couldn't stand it. And that's what made me continually search and search and search and search for the thing that was going to get my wife out of her pain. And you know what? I'm here to tell you, Jane, she is doing better all the time. Yep. And it's the best thing and as an added bonus, I have managed to get rid of my own asthma and allergies myself. I've watched my mother get healthier. Yeah, asthma and allergies that I had my whole life. And constantly going to doctors. I'd go to summer camp when I was a kid. And all the other kids were out doing archery and canoeing and all kinds of stuff. And I was laying in a cabin unable to breathe.
Oh.
So, yeah, it kind of makes me mad a little bit when I think of the fact that Dr. Wallach was able to figure these things out back in 75, so the knowledge was out there. There's no good reason why I had to go through that. There's no good reason why your husband had to ever get Parkinson's in the first place when these things could have been taught in a grade 4 health class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, but it's the kind of thing where, okay, now we know. Now we can intervene. And I would like to hear back from you, Jane. I'd like it if you would get a hold of either me or Dr. Glidden on the show, and we want to hear your progress because I want other people out there to know how real this is, how they can recover from these things. So you've got him eating lots of eggs and protein and whatnot?
Oh, yeah, he's taking 12 egg yolks a day. I make it into an eggnog, and I separate the whites out so that, because otherwise he seems it's too much for him. So the 12 egg yolks, I make it into an eggnog and mix it all up, and he really likes it. I just put a little cinnamon and vanilla and some little milk, and that seems to be, and a little bit of either honey or stevia, and then he really likes it.
That's awesome. And tell me this, what kind of ORAC is he getting per day?
Well, I'm shooting for over 100,000 ORAC points. So between the 2 scoops of tangy orange in the morning and tangy orange in the evening, so there's 4 scoops of that a day, and then the 2 of the Osteo FX, that brings it quite far up, and then he's got the Cell Shield, so that brings it up. And I usually give him 1 piece of the triple chocolate. And I think that, if I remember correctly, that added it up to 100,000.
Yeah, that triple treat chocolate is pretty high. That's it's amazing. Who would have thought that you could fight cancer by eating chocolate?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's God is good. I never, ever gave up hope that I would find it. And I actually asked God to help me out. And I believe that he did. And
wow.
I wouldn't let anybody take that away from you. Jane, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Keep plugging away and keep looking out for that guy of yours. We're going to be back after the break. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden back after this. We're back live on the Fire Your MD Now radio show. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We're going to take a couple calls. We got a short segment now. We're going to talk to Laura in Georgia, but Ned Drew in California. You just hang on if you can make it through the network break. We'll talk to you on the other side. Laura in Georgia, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening. My name is Laura.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. You guys are doing a great job. I have a question. I've been having these hot flashes since I was 48 years old, and it continues, and now it's getting worse. And I didn't want to use estrogen or anything. I just want something natural that my body can adjust to, that it can help me. I used to have like a very good dream, but right now, because I'm waking up 4 or 5 times in the night, I could not get any dream to come to remember any dream that I dreamed. So I need help.
That's interesting, because you're talking about hot flashes and menopause and dreams. Here's the deal, okay? Are you a Dr. Glidden insider? Do you have access to the webinars?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, he's got a webinar called Balancing Women's Hormones, okay? Now, Longevity has a product called HGH, Youth Extract, or HGH, right? Women's hormone balancer, okay? You can totally get control of these hot flashes and get back to your regular sleep patterns. I started taking the HGH, and so did my wife, HGH Youth Complex, about 6 of them before you go to bed at night, and I have the best sleep and the craziest dreams you've ever imagined as long as I'm taking this HGH, and you end up looking younger. It's crazy because, I just turned 39, and I look healthier than I did when I was 28. But
so it's called HGH?
HGH. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have you write down a few things, and then I'm going to give you a phone number. Okay. And I want you to call that, Laura, and there's going to be somebody on the other line that's going to help you walk through this.
Okay, sure.
Do you have a pen?
Yes, I do.
All right. The number is 1-800.
Okay.
705. 6892. That's 1-800-705-6892. You call that number, and there's going to be a member of teamglidden.ca to walk you through this. Now, I would like to see you get on the HGH Youth Complex, okay? And here's another thing you can do. I would like to see you eat 12 raw egg yolks a day. Do you think you can do that, Laura?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, you're going to have to try, because sex hormones are made from healthy cholesterol. You need cholesterol. I've seen women go on this diet, okay, and go from being erratic and all over the place to just being calm and sweet and having a good sleep at night. And I'm not going to, you know who you are. I'm not going to say your name. But if you can do that, are you familiar with the 10 bad food list?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Here's the deal. When you call teamglidden.ca and you get that other person on the line, ask them about the 10 bad food list, okay, and tell them that you talked to Mike Phillip on the Fire Your MD Now radio show, and he said that what I would do if I was you is take HGH Youth Complex and extra EFAs, that's amino and fatty acids, EFAs. You call that number, and I want you to ask them about the 10 bad food list. And do you have email?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you give them your email address, and they'll send you that 10 bad food list. And if you follow this protocol, you are going to feel better than you ever did in your life. This is based on the work of Dr. Joel Wallach. You can't go wrong.
Okay.
You just can't go wrong. So how is everything else?
I have some arthritis too on my arm. When I wake up in the morning, my finger It pains me when I squeeze it up, like want to hold something. It just pains. The joint of the fingers are painful. So.
All right, well, I want you to mention that as well when you talk to the member of TeamGlidden.ca. We're up against a hard break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Ned Drew in California. Take care, Laura. Talk to the good people. They're there to help you.